Good morning. Really fast, right? Really fast on speech. Um, I had taken speech classes when I was in high school and when I was in college. And then in speech classes, guess what? It reminded me of prep school in seventh grade and in primary school doing the loud poetry, the dramatic ones, and in Chinese is 郎中. It's the 郎中 people. They look as if they were possessed by ghosts, and I was usually just keep quiet. And then with speeches, it reminded me of seventh grade schools. And every Friday we had team sports, and we have to get down on one knee and pray in a circle before the games. And then I think that the speech planning is a few stages. Number one, you have to decide what kind of circumstances and what topic and what purpose, your intention, your goals of the speech in public. Secondly, was it a rehearsed or non-rehearsed situation? Then you have to understand the room, the size, and the stage designs. And then the position of your title that day. For example, I was kind of thrown off once because I was invited to give a speech at a private school and then a small scholarship award gathering, and then all of a sudden they asked if I wanted to give a speech about Los Angeles streets at the UN summit. I was like, the summit? Who's going to be there? I mean, there are a few branches and services at the UN in New York City. And then, of course, back to the planning, the stage, and the capacity of the crowd, and then the topic and how to win the crowd. I mean, nowadays, I feel that there are many specialists and trainers and personnel managers who had heard about my who had heard good things about my work and my achievements, so to speak, and of course some stories and kind of silly mistakes or goofy mishaps. And I like that because I always emphasize that as much of a perfectionist you might want to be, you have to forgive yourself and forgive some of the mistakes that might costly, basically. And then next, earning the respect of other people is not to overcome their emotions. I think earning people's trust is just giving it room, giving it time, and then showing facts and fact after fact after fact. And if they keep, then it is valuable, probably. And sometimes in a city you might have accumulated acquaintances that are more or less not your focus or not your focuses, and you have to try another city in the United States. Of course, DC. If you've never been to DC, you have to at least watch the YouTube videos. You have to know the landmarks, the tourist sites, the attractions, the motivational factors, and how iconic the United States always been. And then the relations with neighboring nation, country, cities, park rangers, Coast Guards. So it's fun, and whenever I laugh, I have all these ideas. Hey, imagine a day, going to the park or going to, ask for a tour at the Coast Guard's introductory, entry exams, like I had taken the ASVABs. ASVABs. I'm here for the ASVAB test. I'll take a seat. I'll sit here. So I'm here for the ASVAB. Yeah. So that's the ASVAB day in Los Angeles. 2 different ones. Recruiting center. No phone calls. Pagers. Not sure. But haven't I seen you somewhere? Yeah. So speeches. Dress for the occasion, I guess. You feel good, or you're well prepared. You're okay. I remember in high school there was a classmate, most likely to succeed, and he was just one of the most confident individual in school, and he did not have the most spiffy, clothing, but whenever he give a speech, he always had this enthusiasm in his words, and just a bright spirit, and everyone just lay back and just let him talk. Not a very elevated, well, let's not say that, but the altar boy, and and then later on, we discovered that he had one of the most complete and probably well-balanced collections of his studies. Yeah, so I always remember the silent heroes. Well, I don't do that, but some of the people, I guess. And then from these observations and just really fast-paced reminders, and it is a reminder to myself too, why some people are so balanced and seems to be bright spirits in our society and in the corporation and in the systems. Yeah. So speech. And then sometimes people laugh because my first couple of public speeches, and I would ask the invitees, inviter, I was the invitee, so the inviter, I said, how did I do? And then they said, well, they all went home smiling, but I don't think the speech was really useful, but they seemed, happy. Alright, so let's go grab a bite. And that's how I guess Los Angeles and some of my hometowns had gotten to know me. Yeah. So that's my sharing on speeches. Thanks. Have a good day, good morning. I'm here in Asia Pacific.